and welcome to the Homemade Podcast Sports. This is your host, J Pops.
And welcome back to the Homemade Podcast of Sports with your host, J Pops. Guys, today's date is Monday, December 28th. We are a weekend removed from the Christmas break. I had a good Christmas. I hope you guys did as well. Also, we're now going into our week leading up to the Orange Bowl, people, on January 2nd. Also, we're leading up in a week going into the college football playoffs on January 1st. So, guys, this week is the week. It's the Orange Bowl, baby. Texas A&M versus University of North Carolina. I can't wait. We're going to get into some things here, some breaking news. Auburn has now hired their head coach and things like that, of that nature. So, hey, man, we are getting to the ending of the 2020 COVID-19 college football season. And when I say COVID-19, please do not take that the wrong way. But I'm saying that we're getting into a special season that was in the 2020 season that had COVID-19 be a part of, man, unfortunately. So hopefully in 2021, which is, hey, we're leading up into a new year. Hopefully we can all come back, man, and everything is all normal, man. I pray that it is back to normal, people. I pray that it is. But I hope that you all had a good holiday weekend. I did. I will not complain. Hey, it was better than what I thought it was going to be. Now, of course, did COVID kind of keep a lot of things out of what we all wanted to do? Yes. But it was a good Christmas, guys. It was a really good Christmas. And, hey, now we're back. We're back leading up to the Orange Bowl. So, hey, guys, let's go ahead and get on into it. I'm on my porch. As always, I'm back in the studio. My apologies for not coming out with something on Saturday. But, like I said, I had a real good weekend. So, hey, I took advantage of it. All right. So, guys, let's get into it. Texas A&M football, people. So, the motivational quote for today is, whether we're sitting or standing still, or even lying down, when we stop, we train our bodies and minds to acknowledge the moment. Quote by Rachel Newman. All right, I'll repeat. The motivational quote for today is, whether we are sitting or standing still or even lying down, when we stop, we train our bodies, people, and minds to acknowledge the moment. Rachel Newman. All right, so I want you guys to think about that. Please put that quote into your head and take it for how you want to and keep carrying on with your day. All right, continue to carry on with your day. All right, so let's move forward. So some breaking news over the weekend, all weekend long, of course. Two of the starting running backs, one starting wide receiver, and the starting linebacker have all opted out of the Orange Bowl for North Carolina. Wow, right? Wow. Yes. They've all opted out, people. They've opted out. As for A&M, nobody has opted out at all. Also, we will be at full strength. So, us Aggie fans, to all the Aggie fans out there that is anticipating it, and for anybody who wanted to know, have there been any opt-outs for Texas A&M? No, people, no, not at all. There hasn't been any opt-outs at all for Texas A&M. Also, whoever was on injury and who wasn't injured for the full season, it wasn't a season-ending injury, all of those guys should be back on January 2nd. We should be at full strength like we had been all season long. So, be looking for that. Be looking for that, please, guys. Please be looking for that, all right? So, once again, Texas A&M, no opt-outs. North Carolina opt-outs, the two starting running backs, the one starting wide receiver, and the starting linebacker have all opted out. They're going to get ready for the NFL draft. Best of luck to those guys. And, hey, Texas A&M, it's time to put on the show. It is time to do it. Once again, we're not overlooking North Carolina because Sam Howell hadn't opted out. He hadn't gone anywhere, and he's the playmaker of that offense. So also North Carolina's offense, and of course, they had those guys on offense with them, the running back and the wide receiver. But they have the number 4 offense in the country. All right, so please believe they still have unknown weapons on the North Carolina football team. We're going to find out in the Orange Bowl who's the better team. All right, so please be on the lookout for that. All right, so let's keep going here. Also, Kellen Mond is leaving open a possibility of returning in 2021, people. I can hear all of the noise now as soon as I said that. Those comments should be lit after this video goes up and gets viral. All right. But yes, Kellen Mond is leaving open a possibility of returning in 2021, people. All right. So now, what does this mean for the program going forward? What does it mean for the program going forward? Is this. Although 50% of the fan base, yes, 50% of the fan base wants Kellen to go, to give another quarterback a shot. And yes, people, yes. We're not finna sit on here and act crazy like we do not know that 50% of our Aggie fan base kind of wants Kellen Mond to leave already. Or I might be exaggerating that number a little bit. Hell, it might just be about 20 or 30% wants him to kind of leave already. We know this due to the simple fact of how the way Kellen Mond has played the last 4 years. Now, true enough and hands down, this is one of his best seasons ever. This is one of his best seasons ever at Texas A&M. But it can only go up from here. But I say 50 because I hear a lot of half and half from our fan base, okay? Me personally, I like the guy. I've been liking him all 4 years, all right? But I do know that he had his ups and down moments, So, hey, we're just fans, and we all can get mad at the end of the day. I'm pretty sure he gets mad at himself too, people. But anyways, let's keep going here. So, like I say, some of the fan base wants Kellen to go to give another quarterback a shot, like King and Calzada. In which I do too. I want another quarterback to get a shot. But you have to ask yourself. You got to ask yourself this. Well, if he does come back and play again, listen to me. If he does come back and play again, well, could we go undefeated? Could we go undefeated? Because we already just lost one game. We only lost one game this season, okay? In his senior season. So who's to say he won't lose any? So who's to say he won't lose any if he comes back next year? Who's to say if he won't go undefeated, man? Who's to say that? All right? So I'm going to break down why I say that. Who's to say he won't go undefeated? All right. So now if he does come back next year, then I will tell you this. He's going to have to throw the ball downfield. He's going to have to improve on that downfield passing game, just like we've seen him do against Florida. All right? He's going to have to improve on it. This thing here, he's going to have to throw the ball deep because next year, people, listen to me once again. Demas will be here. All right? Demas should be a starter. Moose Muhammad, y'all remember him? He should be a starter or at least come in rotations. Tight end Baylor Cup. We all want to see him. See, this is what I be getting about when I say that Texas A&M has a bright future up ahead of them in the 2021 season. So listen to me again. So Baylor Cup, tight end Baylor Cup. Watermeyer, who's also tight end, has been an electric tight end ever since he's been starting. And Caleb Chapman, who we all seen go down, but was a deep threat in that Florida game with the torn ACL. All right, and Caleb Chapman will all be in this possession, which should make the passing attack more potent than ever. That should make that passing attack more potent than what we've ever seen. All right, so that's why I say, who's to say when he come back that he won't be undefeated and that offense won't be a fool. So the running game will remain the same. All right, so I'm not really worried about that. No, none of us is worried about the running game because we're recruiting running backs like crazy. And from my understanding, in this book, before the announcement even comes out, L.J. Johnson, I have no doubt in my mind that young man will commit to Texas A&M. Mark my words on that. You heard it here, but you've also heard it from other people. That is no doubt about it. Once again, L.J. Johnson should be committing to Texas A&M. Now, if he goes off to Texas or LSU, I think he's looking at it as well. Now, if he goes off to those programs, wow. You know what I mean? So, also, speaking of that, just throw this out here. Did you guys see what Kamar Wheaton committed to Alabama? So as of right now, people, Alabama has 7 5-stars committed to that team. The number one, they're number one in recruiting right now. Number one. They have the number one ranking. Right behind them is Ohio State, but Ohio State won't get the number one spot. That's pretty much it. Bama has locked it up for man, they've been in the top 6 for like 10 years straight. But I just want to throw that out there, man. Kamar Wheaton from the state of Texas. Yes, he was the number one running back in the 247 ranking and as well as the rival rankings. He has committed to Alabama, people. That's for guys that did not know that. Kamar Wheaton, once again, running back, has committed to Alabama. Along with another guy from North Shore, I believe. He was a 4-star, high 4-star commit. He committed to Alabama as well. Both of those guys from the state of Texas, they went to Alabama. So Texas A&M just has to keep building because they're the premier program right now. It isn't Texas anymore, or at least not right now. Texas isn't the premier program right now. I'm sorry. All right, Texas A&M has that torch. I told you guys this a long time ago. So Texas A&M has to continue to build. They have to continue to progress, and they have to continue to show what they can be when the product is put on field and in front of coaching. You know, also as well as Jimbo Fisher has to prove himself still in the college football world, regardless if he has a national title or not. He still has to prove that his offense works, all right, going forward. So you guys have to understand that. Alabama's already proven that with Nick Saban. Doesn't matter who's his assistants are, he's already proved that. That's it for them. That's why they recruit the way they do. Ohio State has proved that, not with Ryan Day, but with previous coaches and just with the program in general. Although I'm not a fan of Ohio State, but Ohio State is what it is, man. That's their blue blood. All right, they're gonna do what they got to do. Clemson's proved themselves, things like that. But I just want to throw it out there. Yes, Kamar Wheaton has committed to Alabama, people. All right, so we can now shut that down. He didn't go to Oklahoma. Oklahoma was considered for a long time, but he ultimately ended up picking Alabama. So we will see Kamar Wheaton in the future going forward. Yes, that is another 5-star running back they got over there again. This is why Texas A&M is recruiting the shit out of 3 stars too, but 3, 4, and 5-star defensive linemen. Hell, you need somebody to stop those guys. All right, the linebackers too, because when he gets up to the next level, somebody has to stop him back there. So that's why they're recruiting these shit out of linebackers and defensive linemen right now. They need those guys. They need them because you're going to have to go up against them. I'm sorry. You're going to have to go up against that offensive line and shit. Then you got the running back. So somebody's going to have to make a play. All right, Shamar Turner. Marvin Leal. Elijah Judy. He will commit to us. Please believe that. Elijah Judy will join his fellow teammates from Philadelphia. And if you guys want to know why we recruit Philadelphia so hard and potentially go in there and take the number one recruit from out of that state, it's because of Mike Elko. That's where his ties lie at. If you guys didn't know. All right. So, anywho, let's keep going, man. So, back to the running game. That ain't nothing that we're worried about at all. So, which leads me into this. Let's get into the running attack versus North Carolina. All right? Versus that North Carolina run defense. All right? Let's talk about it. Total offense. Let's just hit the total offense button. For A&M, it's number 33 with 437.2 yards a game. Versus North Carolina, number 56 ranked defense with 395.8 yards a game. That's why we're like I believe a 7-point favorite right now. Only because of what that offense can bring for North Carolina. That's why we're like a 7-point favorite. All right. So the Texas A&M rushing offense is number 27 with 202.9 yards a game. North Carolina rushing defense is number 48 with 147.8 yards a game. Let's get into it a little bit deep. Isaiah Spiller rushing yards per game is 109.6. That ranks 19th in the national single statistical category rankings. All right, Isaiah Spiller in yards per carry is number 47 with 5.57. That's average, you know. Rushing touchdown, Spiller is tied for 73rd with 7 on the season. I believe it could be more, but it's just when we get up to that red zone, we'll hand the ball off, but like I said, it could be more, but because of how we handle ourselves in the red zone, we're not really a big red zone threat like we should be. You know, I believe a lot of people agree with me on that one. We're in the big red zone threat like we should be. Get into the other running backs, though. Devin Achane is the 4th leading rusher with about 224 yards and 2 total touchdowns. Anaya Smith is the 2nd leading rusher with about 293 yards and 4 touchdowns. Kellen Mond is the 3rd leading rusher with about 258 yards and 3 touchdowns. So I want you guys to think about this here. We're going to run the ball. And when I say run the ball, we're going to run the ball heavy. Don't get me wrong, we're going to pass the ball as well, but we're going to run the ball heavy. All right, so I want you guys to picture Isaiah Spiller and Achane. Those are the 2 guys that I want to see, but Anaya Smith as well. But those are the 2 guys I really want to see going really, really hard and aiming for that North Carolina defensive line. Don't get me wrong, I don't know who's all on the North Carolina defensive line. I will have to look and do some research and things like that. But it isn't anybody that's just really a threat, in my opinion, that's on that North Carolina defensive line. That's why their linebacker was so good, because he was able to stop and make those plays. Now the linebacker has opted out. We will see what this Texas A&M running offense will do. In my mind, I believe we'll have over 200 plus rushing yards in this game. That's what I firmly believe. We will have over 200 rushing yards in the game with about a little bit over 200 passing yards and maybe about 2 touchdowns. Both of them may just come to Watermeyer, but I'm hoping Demas will start. Damn it, this is the last game. We all want to see him. Just put him out there, man. Just give us a little clip or something. But if he doesn't, it is what it is. You know, just be looking for the 2021 season. Because like I say, Demas should be that downfield passing threat as well as with Chapman. Because we all seen what Chapman can do. But due to that torn ACL, I just know for sure that Jimbo Fisher and that coaching staff, they ain't going to run him like that. I know they aren't. So they're going to try Demas. Because Demas can go out there and potentially catch over a lot of people. You know, he can catch over a lot of people. It's just all about placing the ball in the right spot. So, like I say, and now I'm kind of getting off the subject. If Kellen Mond does come back, I need for you guys to not give up. Just like I know you guys aren't going to do. We're all going to watch the games. But I know it's going to kind of hit us like, oh, here we go again when we, kind of see that bad game from him. But he's going to be a 5th-year senior. All right, so if he does come back, as well as the offensive line. I'm sorry, I did not mention some of the offensive line has already, I'm not sure who, but some of the offensive line has already considered coming back. Of course, we had some seniors on that O-line, but some of those guys have already considered coming back for another season, only because I told you, man, we only lost 1 game. Who's to say if we come back next year with the same group, we won't go undefeated? Now, that's going to be hard to do because you got Alabama. LSU I'm not really worried about because LSU just has to get some things together. Also, Bo Pelini has been let go, people. The Bo show has now ended at LSU. They have now ended. Bo is gone. He's been fired. Also, Steve Esminger, the offense coordinator. A lot of us thought it was Joe Brady over there that was leading that offense from Joe Burrow. Of course he was, man, because if it wasn't for him coming in and getting Joe Burrow together so far as quarterbacking wise, I honestly believe Joe wouldn't have been that way. But Steve Esminger has stepped down at LSU as well. So Ed has now lost his offense coordinator and his defense coordinator that just potentially got fired, of course. But like I said, I'm not really worried about LSU because they just have to get some things together. Can never overlook those guys, though, because we have a horrible record against them. All right, we don't have a horrible record with Jimbo at the helms because we're 2-1 against them with Jimbo. I believe next year we'll be 3-1. All right, so just keep that in mind. Although we go to Baton Rouge, now if we go to Baton Rouge and we win up there, that should let you know that okay, I told you once before this Aggie team is for real. So think about it. If we go undefeated and leading up into that game in Baton Rouge and we win that game, well, of course we won the SEC West at that point. We've now won the SEC West. But the big dog that has to come down is Alabama themselves. So me personally, I don't believe Mac Jones will be there. It'll be the other starting quarterback. That was the freshman who's going to be the sophomore then. But I'm just saying, man, Alabama has to come to us. So under Jimbo Fisher, especially this year, we're undefeated at home. So we'll be going into next year undefeated at home all over again. Leading up to that game is going to be the big game of the season. So you guys have to put that in mind, man. But back to this Orange Bowl, that rushing attack should be a fool. So please, man, be looking for that rushing attack to pound, and potentially knock North Carolina mentality out of the game, and that's going to open up something for Kellen Mond to start throwing the ball downfield. And when he throws the ball downfield, I'm not going to say that those guys are going to separate, but due to the play calling, most of those wide receivers should be open like crazy because they're trying to defend the run. So just be looking for that, like I say. But going to this Orange Bowl, my score prediction, especially after looking at these opt-outs and things like that, and this North Carolina rushing defense, and rushing is what we thrive off of. This game, for me, that score, and this is the last game of the season. I understand Jimbo Fisher in like this and like that. That score should be 41. That score should be like 42-21. Texas A&M. It should be a blowout. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be straight up on Twitch. And North Carolina fans, I'm not looking over you at all. Now, the reason to why those guys have opted out at North Carolina, I have no clue because this is an Orange Bowl. That's crazy to me. And they hadn't been to the Orange Bowl since like 1930, I think they had said, or something like that, or 1960. That's crazy. That's freaking crazy to me. But those guys have their own choices. They have to make their own decisions. So I'm not mad at them at all. But this game, due to us being full strength and North Carolina not being at full strength, this game should be like 42-21 blowout. Texas A&M. It's going to give us a lot of hype going into the 2021 season. And that's what I want to see. I just want to see those guys come out and have a clean, good game. All right, so once again, guys, it's a homemade podcast, Sports with your host, J Pops. Guys, I have to get on out of here because I got to go to work. You know, I work just like next man, so I got to get on out of here. But I thank you guys tuning in. I'm halfway from 1,000 subs, as we call them nowadays. So please, guys, be sure to tell a friend and tell another friend. Also, follow me on Facebook at J Pops. Follow me on Instagram at JPops2020 and also on Twitter at JPops05. I love you guys. So all the Aggie fans out there that listens to this podcast and also the other fans from other teams, I love you guys. This was a memorable season. 2020 is almost over with. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right? The show is being sponsored by Dopeness Styles and King's Beard Grooming Company. Love all of you guys. Hashtag Gigamags.
And thank you guys for tuning in to the hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. Please, guys, subscribe to the YouTube page and also follow me on Twitter at JPops, on Instagram at JPops, and also on Facebook at hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. Thank you guys once again. Hashtag Gigamags.